Hello and welcome. This is Captain Aquarius, doing business again in 2016 as Dan First, and coming to you with another of the 10-minute videos in this series about the extraordinary lunations of 2016. This one is going to be about the next full moon, which is coming on August 17th or 18th, depending on your location. The chart that you see here is cast for Brasilia in Brazil, because it will be at about the time of this full moon that the impeachment trial of the president of Brazil, Dilma Rousseff, will be coming to a vote and to some kind of resolution. We choose this moment and this event as the focus for this video because it is emblematic of everything that is going on the planet right now, at a time when it seems that crisis is unavoidable, and those who want to grab as much as they can for themselves are doing everything possible to create unfair and illegal and frankly predatory arrangements, while other people are doing what they can to make the situation work well for all of us so that everybody has a chance to come through. This is going on all over the planet, as you know, in the constant lying and competition for scoring points against one another that people are doing instead of actually trying to get at the truth of the situation. The motor of this chart, the engine of it, is the same as what we have been looking at now for months as this process continues, in which we have, as you see in this chart, a T-cross that is very easy to discern in the alignment of planets that you see here in the first house of our personality and the way that we project our energy outward into the world to achieve our personal aims. The seventh house, which is the house of marriage and partnerships in general, and the fourth house, which is the house of the home and the mother. If you look closely here, you will see that in the first house, in the middle of this combination of planets that you see here, there is the horseshoe-shaped moon's node in combination with Venus, which are in the middle degrees of the sign of Virgo. Opposite to this position, in the seventh house, you see the other moon's node, the upside-down horseshoe, in a close combination with the planet Neptune. And at a 90-degree angle to both of these positions, down in the fourth house, you see Saturn at 9 degrees of Sagittarius at a 90-degree angle to both of these other points. That's why we call this a T-cross. It angles a number of planets to each other at the angles of 90 degrees, which is considered the angle of disharmonious tension, and of 180 degrees, the opposition, which is considered harmonious tension. And it should be emphasized here that even though the possibilities of stress and disagreement in this alignment are high, there are also possibilities of coalescence and understanding and the arrival at complementary situations and relationships. And so, therefore, we notice that the same things that have been happening for months now during the period of this ongoing T-cross in 2016 are still happening. Saturn is the cold, earthy force of limitation and reality that tends to bring things down to earth and to ground them. Neptune is the more diffusing force of the fog and the universal water of the ocean, the all-embracing heart of compassion that unites us all when Neptune is at his best. But when he is afflicted, he tends to go into the domain of deception and lying and altered states of consciousness. And when Saturn is angled in a way that afflicts both of these other two, then instead of getting along in a harmonious way, all of these three planets tend to go in the negative direction of self-service, conflict, concealment, lying, instead of the positive direction of service to others, love and cooperation and understanding. And so this is amped at this time because we are in fact in the emotional climax of this entire phase, which has been in effect since the end of last year and comes to its climax now in August and September, before this T-cross alignment that has been so spectacularly in effect in 2016 now comes to its peak, its emotional crisis point. Because what is going on, as you see here, is that now the two very highly emotional planets of Venus, who is there in the first house, and of Mars, who is in conjunction with Saturn in the fourth house, are now part of the design. And so it means that this entire process that we have been going through of lying and deception and propaganda, the attempt of the controlling archons on this planet, the reptilian forces of authority and domination, trying constantly to keep other people fooled and faked and sick and terrified, is going to amplify now inevitably. We have seen the results of it. The constant blaming of other people for one's own mistakes and one's own vicious behavior, in the sense, let's say, for example, that Russia and Vladimir Putin in particular have been blamed for activities on the part of the CIA, the creator and supporter of the ISIS organization, the creator of the failed military coup in Turkey. Both of these American-backed CIA operations, in which it is obvious now increasingly that very high figures in the American government have been involved. We have seen this kind of lying and deception and fakery and foolery in the false flag events, in which combinations of very skilled professional assassins have committed mass murder and have blamed it on someone else for the sake of keeping everyone terrified and thereby easier to control. The difference now, and what makes this the hottest time of the entire combination, is that, as you see in the fourth house, Mars is only now 3 degrees away from the position of Saturn and is moving forward. These two will come into an exact conjunction on August 24th, and they will remain in very close combination until early September, the time of the next black moon. These two are traditionally regarded as an aspect that spells uncommon energy and determination, but it may also be the tendency that people have never to want to cooperate, but to hold their own positions, to refuse to compromise and agree. This will be in effect as well. It is necessary that we see the positive possibilities here. Mars is not only the bully, the murderer, and the rapist. He is the one who runs into a burning house to rescue a child when his energies of protectiveness and service are emphasized as they need to be here. And the same thing can be said of Venus, who is now part of the design as well. She normally is so highly receptive that she will tend to think only of herself, whereas now she is needed to direct her focus outward. Every planet has its way of getting what it wants. Jupiter buys it, Saturn earns it, Mercury either persuades other people to give it up or he steals it, and Venus looks right at it and says, "Come here, I want you." And it comes because she has a clear, single-minded focus on what she intends, and she has no doubt whatsoever that she deserves it. And that's why it must happen at this time, that we find so many people who are in need of coming to clear and workable focus about what it is that they intend for themselves and others. And we find so many people who are challenged by issues of feeling that they don't deserve to be happy, they don't deserve to be loved, and therefore they are not able to contribute as much to the common goal as they would be if their Venus energy were more fortified. This is a golden opportunity to amp the Venus energy of these people so that they can help themselves and they can join in combinations for helping everyone. The Sun in Leo right at the ascendant at the left of the chart is magnificently angled to Uranus, the revolutionary, the bringer of change in the 8th house of the chart, offering us wonderful possibilities for creativity and invention. Let us find them, please. Let us use them.